Were you able to learn?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it was quite a chaotic, I think, out there for everyone with the red flags. So we, like everyone else, couldn't complete all the things that we wanted to do. But today's been quite difficult for me, just trying a lot of different things with the car. But it seems like a lot of things are not really clicking at the moment, and yeah, quite difficult just to put the lap down. You need a lot of confidence and commitment around here, and at the moment I don't feel like I can use that, so we still have a bit of work to do.
Earlier you said you felt the car was flexing a lot. What do you mean by that, and is that something that you've been able to solve in FP2, or is that something for tomorrow?
No, it's an ongoing process, so yeah, just felt it maybe a bit more here. There's quite a bit of warp in some places, so yeah, it's something that we're looking into.
Could you get a read on your race pace and the tyres? There were lots of drivers talking about tyre graining out there, especially this morning. Was that something you felt?
Not so much for us, but I was on the soft, so that tyre requires a lot of management anyway. You can't really push that tyre, and then I only did like 3 laps at the end, so not really a good read. So I think tomorrow, potentially in FP3, you will see a lot of teams trying to do a bit more of a longish run with the time that you have. But yeah, it's not been an easy day.
Can I ask you for a word on how you think Yuki did on his first sessions with Red Bull?
Yeah, I mean, I think he started off really well in FP1. Then FP2 is just very chaotic for everyone. But yeah, we have a lot of homework to do from our side just to focus on the car. But yeah, I think everything worked out.
Lando, the car at times looked a little bit tricky to handle, yet McLaren's topped both sessions. How actually was it out there?
I mean, it's pretty good. I think we're still in a good position. I think it's tricky just because of the wind. Wind makes a big difference, especially on a circuit like this when it's so quick. You're on like such a fine limit for such a long time, like the first sector. The tiniest bit of wind can really upset the car quite a lot. So I think, to be honest, I'm sure everyone's struggling with a similar thing. I still feel good. I still feel like we're in a reasonable place. We made some steps forward, but still some things to try and improve for tomorrow. So happy enough for a Friday.
It still feels like we're sort of trying to shake out where everyone is this season. Do you guys know where you are in comparison to those teams who you expect to be sort of fighting you the hardest?
I mean, I still think we're at the top, but I think when George was very quick this morning, just as quick as us, so I think Mercedes are in a good place. Maybe Red Bull looked a little bit further off, but they have looked further off until qualifying, and then they get a bit closer again. So, to be honest, I think the normal, but just a messy session, so I don't think this session was probably the best example of where everyone was. I think maybe FP1 was a better example that you kind of saw teams in order. But I still expect it to be close and a tough battle tomorrow. I mean, I hope it's not. I hope it's nice and easy for us, but I'm sure Mercedes at least, and definitely George from today's showings, will be challenging us a bit tomorrow. All the races.
Oscar, McLaren's topping both sessions. How does it feel out there?
Difficult. I think with the part of the track being resurfaced and very gusty winds, it's been a challenge. You know, around here, it's somewhere where the wind really changes the balance a lot, and when it's gusty like this, I don't think you have the same car 2 laps in a row. So it's been a pretty tricky day. Obviously FP2 was pretty stop-start, so it was hard to get into a rhythm, but I think by the end of the day I felt reasonably comfortable. Still some fine-tuning to go. I think there's been some things I've been happy with today, but it's not been the easiest overall.
The talk has been that McLaren is the quickest car, but it's a question of by how much. Is that a fair statement?
It's really hard to know. You know, I think FP1 was difficult to get pace out of the car. I think FP2 I was much more comfortable, but you know, I think Mercedes have looked very quick as well. Just didn't find much on the softs, which I think with this kind of session, you know, it's always a bit tricky to get a proper read. I think, you know, the pace is there, and I'm feeling confident that we've got good pace for the rest of the weekend, but it's still a little bit tricky at this point, so I think we're still going to be on our toes.
Good afternoon there with all the red flags, but how was that first day in the car in general for you?
I thought it was quite positive. I've tried so many things today, and for that I think it was a very constructive day. We didn't put everything together, but I felt like the performance is probably better than what we are seeing on page 1. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to tomorrow, but I feel like everything we've learned today will be completely the opposite tomorrow with a huge change of wind. Will be a big change, especially on a track like this.
With all of those things you just mentioned, how important will that final practice session be to get everything in order for qualifying, get a read of the change in the wind as well, as you say?
Yeah, but to be honest, I felt, even though it was just frustrating because I wasn't putting one lap on the board every time there was either traffic or red flag or another red flag or another red flag again. So it was just that was frustrating in that way. But I think it was very constructive though. We've made loads of changes and it was a good day. I think I feel like I've learned a lot from this car today, and I feel like I maybe understood where I wanted more for the future races, so that's always a good thing.
Okay, so hopeful that you should at least be in the mix there or thereabouts again.
We need to be careful because McLaren seems to be on another planet, but I feel like I maybe have a bit more of an idea on how to maximize our potential, which is always a good thing.
Sets of P4 in practice, and obviously slightly disrupted with lots of stops and starts in the second one, but how much do you feel you've been able to learn about this Ferrari in these two practice sessions?
It's been a really nice day. This track is awesome. It never ceases to amaze you when you get on this circuit. And also we've got an incredible crowd here this weekend. The support for Ferrari is the first time seeing it. So, but generally the sessions went well. We got through all the sessions. Obviously, it's a bit worrying to see the crash in turn one. Glad to see he's okay. And yeah, it's quite gusty, so the wind is going this way, so you get a big headwind through the S's, and that's when the track is the fastest. But it felt great. We got through all the program. We've got some performance we need to pick up. We're not the quickest at the moment, but I think it's a good baseline.
You're obviously still getting used to the car and the new surroundings. It feels quite difficult to predict where you guys are in comparison to, say, Mercedes and McLaren.
Yeah.
How much have you been able to feel more comfortable with the car, but also know whereabouts you're sort of shaking out in that upper pack?
In terms of, I've not really been focusing massively on what everyone else is doing. I've been really trying to focus on learning as continuing to grow with the team, and from weekend to weekend, getting more comfortable in the surroundings and in the car, just remembering it's within the cockpit, and also the settings. I'm trying more, understanding more of the setup changes that we can do, and for example, the session between those two sessions, starting to get to a point where I can push the car in a direction, know which tools I have in order to use to put the car in a better place, and so I'm getting more comfortable with it, and I expect that to just continue over the